Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Today we will be continuing our Haxeflixel tutorial series. Today we are going to be making the second episode. And in the second episode we will be laying the groundwork for our game. Without further more gargara, let's start. So first we are going to need to make a new main menu. So how we will do this? We will go into states, we will create new file. We will call this menu state .hx. The .hx is important. And as you see, we have the package states here. What we can do, we can go class menu state extends flx state flx state. So it's going to import the flexel state. We're going to make var play btn. This is going to be of type flx button. So here we created a play button. This is of type flx button. This is indicated by the colon. Of type flx button is indicated by the colon flx button. So next what we will be doing is we will okay, now we're going to create a method called override create. This is, yeah, so like I said, I don't know if I said this, but I will say it again. So the create function, what it will be doing, the create function basically just runs on the start. When you start the game, it will run. So before it, we are going to initialize our play button. We will make it of type new flx button because it needs to be set that way. Don't ask me why. Then we will create the x and y, making we will center it, and we will go play. This is the text, and then we will have an on-click event. So, and what do we mean by the on-click event? This is the callback which will be run when we how to say this? When we press the button. So we can just, for now, just write it on play pressed. Okay, now we will get an error. We should get error. Then we need to add the play button. Add play btn. So there's no way on play pressed. Let's just add call back. So now what we do, we create a new function on play pressed call back. So here what we are going to do, we are going to use a helper class called flxg dot we also need to import it dot switch state. And how we're going to do, we're going to give it a type of state. And what is the state that we need to give it? We need to give it of type we need to give our play state. So play state, but yeah. So now basically that's it. Play btn dot screen center. We do it here. Yeah, this has to be done before this all has to be done before super.create, otherwise it will not work. So next, what we are going to need to do, let's just go into main. Instead of having play state as the default, what we can do, import state dot menu state. So instead of having here play state, then just have here menu state. I think menu state. So now let's go ahead and try running it. Let's hope we don't run into any compiler errors. Okay, so here we are getting an error. Okay, now here we have a button. As you can see, press play. It will directly take you to hello world. Yes, so this means that it's working. So next, what we are going to need to do. Now let's make a simple player. Remember how we created these entities? This is where we are going to do it. Going player.hax. So it will give you the package entity, port flixel.flx sprite, and then what we're going to need to do, class player. Yeah, exactly, it got it correct. And then it extends our flx sprite. That's why we imported flx sprite in the first place. So now public function, and then what are we going to call it? We're going our new function. So so here we are going to insert the parameters for the player. X float. By default, we're going to make it 0. These are the positions for it. X float equals 0, and then Y is a float, and it equals to 0. So, yeah, now correct. Nothing. Then we create it using super, and then we give them the X and Y, and yeah, nothing here will happen. So, let's see. Uh, so, now let me just try to explain it a bit easier for you. So the super keyword which we put here, what does it refer to? Let's see what it refers to. It refers to the parent class. So by calling super x and y within our constructor. So the new, this is actually a constructor. Uh, we are basically saying to go up, we just initialize our constructor. Back into our play state. Here, go var player, and then it's of type player. But the game still doesn't know what the hell are you talking about? What the hell is player? So we need to go import entities. Hold up, what? How the hell do you know this player? Doesn't know. Yeah, so why can I not import it? Import. What is this? You imported once, not 100,000 times. Anyway, so yeah, let's just copy that. Let's see what we're going to do. We can go import entities dot player. So now our player is our player. So now it recognizes our player. Now what we need to do in our create function, here, let's not give this a capital letter, otherwise we will die. And now let's remove this text. Hello world, I don't know what. So after before super create, obviously we cannot have it after super create, so we can do player equals to new player. Yeah, and then it notices, so we want to spawn it in the top left, so 2020. Don't ask why it's like this, it's just 2020. Then we have to add our player guy. So now let's go ahead and try running it. So now if you go here, play, you see, you just get a tiny flixel here. but you can't move around with it, you can't do anything with it. So this flixel means basically there is a missing sprite here. So how we are going to fix this missing sprite issue? Let's quickly see how we are going to do this. Let's head into our player. And okay, we want to make graphic here. We actually need to make it a blue square. We need to import flixel.util.flx color. Yeah, now what we are going to do, we are going to go make graphic. We are going to give it 16 by 16, and then color we can give it flx color dot let's make them red for now, just so we can see it. And that's it. That's all you need to do to make the graphic. Now let's go ahead and see if the graphic worked. Yeah, here we have our red square, or you can just change this to blue if you want. So now yeah, let's continue working on our player so we can make him move. So let's go back into our player checks, and we need to give him a few things here. So we need to make static inline var, call it speed because it's a constant basically. This will be of type float, and then let's make this float equal to 100, not 1,000. That's a bad idea to make it equal to 100. Then after you call make graphic here, what we are going to need to do, we need to drag dot x is equal to drag dot y, which is equal to 1,000, or